Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop. We're making something fun for the quilt shop this week. We like to say so much fun many times, and in fact it's on our webpage. So I thought I'd do something fun. It's going to be a reverse applique Trapunto style. I don't know if that has ever been done, but we're doing it here today. Okay, so I have just I drew some lines and I wrote with my own messy little handwriting, capital letters, so much fun. And then I drew like a little needle, and then I just stitched out there so you can kind of get an idea of what we're actually doing there. And then we're going to do is we're going to cut away this light blue part right in here, okay? And that's going to come out black because we have a nice cute micro black polar fleece on the back here, and then after that we have a layer of batting. So once this gets another layer back, once I trim all this stuff out and just focus it on its own little pieces, once it's stitched, put another layer of batting and it'll all stand up. All the stuff that we've already done, that's what Trapunto means, is to, you know, like a double layer stand up, okay? So, and I just, you know, recycled some that I have here. I have my free motion foot on my machine, and I just chose a nice little complimentary blue thread to go with my little project here. You'll see it, but I'm fine with that. And this genie type material doesn't really fray a lot, but I think it'll be just fine. We're going to clip all this blue fabric out of the letters and stuff like that. Okay, it's going to be fun. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start with the S first. We'll work our way down the list. Okay, so when you're doing free motion, you can kind of get, there's a Silpat mat that you can get that has just a tiny little hole in here, and a little slippery, plasticky, rubbery thing sits over on everything else, so your fabric slips really nicely. And you can also get some gloves. There's a couple of different varieties out there, but if you're really into the free motion, definitely pick up those tools for sure. Okay, whether it's just free or even ruler work, right? So. Okay, and I have my machine set to free motion, so which is you drop the feed dogs, turn the stitch down to 0, and try and coordinate the pedal pressure and your hands all at the same time. I know it's going to take some practice. Trust me, practice makes perfect. Well, not necessarily perfect, but practice makes, you know, really darn good. So, what's up? That's fine. Oh, all right. So yeah, just practice, practice, practice. That's all I could ever say is got to practice. Okay. So we'll just move those little threads out of the way. Just want to scoot those ones there. There. We just kind of got hooked under the foot. Okay. And I'm just going to trace out the letter S. And I had this in white chalk first, but once we turned on all the lights in here to do the filming, the white chalk kind of disappeared. So I had to use a little bit of pencil, just so I can kind of see it under everything, okay? And the lines are there just as a guideline. I don't have to go on every single line that I make. It's just there to guide me, so I know, make sure I'm spelling the right letter or spelling the right word. Okay, and then I'll go move over to the E. So needle down, needle up, bring that bobbin threads up to the top. Let's try that one more time. Didn't work the way it was supposed to. There we go. Just give a little pull on the little tail a little bit so you have something to work with, and then off we go. And I have these very cute, Pop picked them up because it was just suggested from one of the fans of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop. They're called pin moors, and they're great for sticking on the ends of your little pins for pinning stuff. I have not been poked once because I did a project and I got poked a lot. I think it was the Christmas project. No, it wasn't Christmas. It was something. I don't remember. But I got poked. And what I did is I just placed them where I wouldn't need to remove them until pretty much the very end, so they weren't interrupting with any of the words. You don't even have to do this free motion. You could easily just do this with your foot and just stop and pivot at each little turn instead of controlling it like I am. Okay. So don't let that stop you from making something fun for your sewing room. Okay. All right, that's the bobbin to the top because I've moved on to the letter W in the word sew. Okay. Okay, and I'm going going to make them all the way down here. And you just control your fabric, your little sandwich. This could easily be a quilt. And you can just be, you know, sewing out words to, you know, grandbabies or children or whatever. They love giraffes, and, you know, draw them a giraffe and write the word giraffe. Oh. I'm sure you can think of things. Okay, you trim up all the threads afterwards, but there you go. That's the start of it, and then let's see how on the back. And then when we cut the blue out here, you're just going to see the black underneath, and it's going to be all puffy, and it's going to look really neat. Okay, so let's do the word much. Let's move down here. Just work your way between the pins and the little pin more thingies, little foamy bits on the ends. Okay, hold that and go. And you can add lots of things. You can put buttons on this. You can actually attach, you know, little tiny spools of thread. You know how sometimes they're just for decoration, but this would be a good little thing you can decorate with that. I like buttons. Buttons would be awesome. Make it all fun with the sewing notions, right? Okay, pull that up. Okay, now I'm working on the U for much. Don't forget, you can stop at any point in time and reposition. You know, you just have to take the pressure off the foot. You are the one in control. Okay, and I'm doing a little couple back stitches where I started and stopped, so they're kind of overlapping just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go down here and do the C. Ooh. All right, hold that tail. There we go. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to move over just a smidge because just right to the H is really quite close here. So I'm just going to move there. I may have to take this one out. Oh, that's all right. I just don't want it to have to run into the C from the C. All right, now on to my favorite word, fun. All right, so you see that. Here we go. So much fun. All right. Now you can do this whatever makes you feel better for you. I just happened spelling them upside down was working for me. But you could certainly put a, you know, quilt as you go sort of thing going on. Especially if you want to do, I don't know, placemats, table runners, that sort of thing. Oop, is that one rubbing back there? It is too. Let's just move that out of the way. See, it's so easy to get it out. You know exactly where it is. There's no fighting with it. I really, really enjoy those pin mores. So thank you to whoever has suggested them. I think there was a couple of you ladies. Okay, now another U. Okay, this has been really, I thought, you know, need to spice up the little shop a little bit. Make something fun, a little wall hanging. Now this last little piece, this actually was a huge, massive chunk of this Genie type, but it had a bleach stain right in the middle of, like, you know, you'd roll it a meter and a bit and then have a bleach stain, and roll it a meter and a bit and have a bleach stain. So I got it for $1 a meter, and it did many backs to many quilts and a few projects here and there for, you know, background fabrics and stuff. So it's been well worth it, the money that I spent on it, for sure. Sometimes you just got to watch for those deals. All right, now for the last letter here, and then we'll do some of the cutting so you can see what I was up to. And of course you can do shapes, animals, words, you know. I'm doing mine in capital letters, but if you did something like even calligraphy or fancy text, or, you know, there's so many different fonts out there. You know, you could do your family name, you know, welcome to, you know, Cooper's, you know, something like that. Anything would be, I think it would be a little fun. Okay, there we go. So much, here, I'll show you first. There we go. So much fun. And now I'm going to cut out the blue that's in the names. Okay, so let's get this and here. Okay, so I find for this process a nice pair of curved scissors. These are from my long arm. I got them, they came with my Gamel. And it just helps to make sure you're not nipping into any of the fabrics as you're going. See, that's why they're perfect for long arming. You never, you know, you're never going to cut into the customer's quilt or your project, and they clean up real quick. So we'll just get those out of the way. So let's work up here. Now this is where the seam ripper comes in. Now, I wasn't hoping to use it for anything today except for this one specific spot. And you just want to make sure you're lifting up the first layer, not the black one underneath and not the batting, just that very first little layer. You can feel it, or if you just take a few little threads and do a poke, and you're like, okay, no, I can see black under there, we're good. You can give a little bit more of a little hole there. You can see it's just tiny little black there. And then you come in with the curved scissors to make sure you're not cutting into your fabric at all. And you just follow your stitch that you just did to outline the name, okay? So I'll do the word so you can see. And that's what's going to keep me busy for my weekend project. Now you can do this many different ways. There's another, if you have just a sharp pair of scissors too, you know, that gets you started, you know, or you have a smaller little pair. My sewing machine's a bit in the way there. Okay. And then you can just putter on. Okay. I'm riding it flat. I'm not doing this way. I'm kind of going sideways to making sure I'm not going to cut into that black. Okay. But these sometimes you need them in for some tight curves and some twists and stuff like that. Yeah. And some really cute fabric here, actually. We've done a few donation quilts with it as well, as made a few bags, and it's super soft and very luxuriously feeling. So we have a whole roll of that here. And you just keep trimming and trimming and trimming. Of course, you can remove all these guys, get them out of your way. And just make sure you're not coming too close to your stitches, or these fibers here are going to slip right through, okay? And you don't want that. It does help to make sure you see where you're going. Okay, see, there's one. And then once we get this all trimmed out too, we'll trim out this, so with the white puffiness, the batting is only on each letter. That'll make them stand out when I go and stitch this all down with, you know, a very tight meander or something like that to make all those letters pop right up, right? Okay, so back over here to the seam ripper. We're just going to pick a little spot here, making sure we just have our light fabric, the one that's on the top, not our one underneath. Poke a little hole, get in there with the little scissors, make a bigger hole, and then come in with your other scissors. Whatever you have. Sometimes you have little needlepoint ones. They're very handy for those. I'm not sure where I put mine. They're probably in the bowl beside the bed with the yarn. But this will do just fine. Okay. And if you really wanted to be careful and you had the letter all cut out, you could put that letter onto something else, you know, like make a pillow. So you've done it twice. You got the letters would be a little floppy. You could always applique them down onto a pillow. Easy to make a pillow like this as well for, you know, for your room, for Munchkin's room, you know, their initial on it, or the, you know, favorite character, or, you know, you just made up the one. Maybe it was one of their paintings or drawings that they did, and it was one of their favorites. You can copy it and put it on a pillow. Make it a very texture and 3D sort of memory project for art. Okay, there's so many ideas. You can think of thousands, I'm sure. Okay, now back over here to the W. Making sure I've just got my blue, not anything else. Okay, yep. There we go, get in there. Just be careful. If you happen to nip your under fabric or anything like that, don't worry about it. Just give it a little bit of, you know, glue or fray check, and, you know, if it gets really bad, whip a couple of stitches in there or do a quick little zigzag over it. I'm sure nobody would ever notice. Not unless you tell them. There we go. And if you had pinking shears, you could do that with pinking shears. You can do it, you know, a different sort of, you know, there's different cutters, give different shapes, that sort of thing. So there we go. That's the start of my weekend project with all the bits everywhere. All right, so do the much, do the so much. Okay, perfect. All the tools, feels like it's surgery. Fabric surgery. Scissors. Seam ripper. Tiny curved scissors. Bandages. No bandages. So hopefully you take on this idea and you make something. I'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. We have a group called the Mama Pop Quilt Shop Mafia. It's on Facebook. You have to answer the questions to get in, and make sure you want to be in, because some people were adding some other people, which was a little weird. But nonetheless, it's all good. Just make sure you answer the questions. It's all good stuff. Okay. I could see this doing for like a project with the kids for like maybe you know, for Mother's Day, or something for Father's Day, making like fishes, or, you know, if you liked you know, to motorbike ride or something like that, you can get all the kids drawing a motorbike, and, you know, there's lots and lots of ideas. Over here. Or boats, whatever, even just tools. Okay. Back over here. Right. Oh, that's a big enough hole for that. There we go. Get the little ones there. It's kind of hard to come in on that curve. Just patience. Takes a little bit of patience. Sometimes I don't always have them though. But I try. Enough from the cameraman. Could see his head going. And of course, you can always come in with the little circle ones, curved ones afterwards to get really close into your, you know, if you were giving it a bulk, you know, clip out, you could go back in with, you know, come around here, get those the corners a little bit more precise or rounded or whatever you were hoping for, okay? All right, let's do one more, and then I'll show you, and then you'll just have to wait to see how it turns out. Hopefully, at the end of this video. There may be a picture or two, or you have to go check it out on the webpage. I always put pictures up. The dueling pianos, it was a live stream for a few weeks, and then it was a long arm Wednesday. It was pretty cool. Everybody seemed to like that one for sure. It was a lot of fun. And for being a simple block, you know, with just a 4-patch and half square triangles, it made it such a stunning pattern. I think that was the way the Pop set the block ideas out. Oop. Ah, it's okay. Run away! Better get it before Clive gets it. All right, there we go. Now you can see what I will be up to for the next little bit, finishing off this beautiful little cute wall hanging for the quilt shop. So have yourself a fantastic day, and we will see you tomorrow on the live stream where we're going to be doing blue and green together in a very simple pattern. So hopefully you guys will follow along, and we'll make a beautiful blue and green quilt together. Okay? Thanks, everybody. So much fun. Have a great day. Bye-bye.